Hey everybody, well how about that? After all the, I try to remember what that line was. I think it was from a movie. It was from, oh, of course, it was from Goodfellas. And it was Ray Liotta in the character of Henry Hill, voiceover of a scene where he's talking about how his cousin wasn't listening to instructions, and the cousin winds up, the girl winds up, of all things, taking this bag of cocaine and leaving it where she shouldn't have left it, thereby making him and his family markers for the FBI and getting caught. And in that scene, he goes, after all I told her, after all her yada, 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 yada BS, this is what happened. So it's in that spirit that I say, after all this talk, and after all this yada, yada, yada BS, we find out, as per a number of pieces of information that are out there all over the interwebs, that the teams that were reported to be involved in going after Antonio Brown, like the Raiders and the Niners, were never really after him. And he's going to the Buffalo Bills. And I feel like this is hilarious. It is totally the case of more than one media person being spun. I mean, spun, okay? Spun, all right? All right? So it's, whatever the news, basically it says, now it's fake news. Antonio Brown, the Bills. I'm trying to figure out, because now I'm getting the Steelers are closing in on a deal to send to the Bills. All right, and then the Steelers had a hard time finding teams that were in on Antonio Brown, but the Packers were interested. And then the latest news on Twitter has it that, well, that is the latest news. Okay, and yeah, that's. Weird situation, man. I mean, but, well, hold on a second. That's not the latest news. All right, cool. Here it is. Antonio Brown calls his trade to the Bills fake news. And I see it right now, okay? So now, you know what? I've got to update my title. I've got to update my title. I'm glad, all right? Because in the space, that was 23 seconds ago that I saw that tweet, all right? In the space of time between getting ready to do this and now, AB comes out with that. All right, so Antonio Brown to Bills, fake news, fake. All right, Oakland, yeah, fake. Antonio Brown to Bills, fake. All right. And I had to update that, but then still stay within the 100 character limit there. This is hilarious stuff. It's fake. Fake news. So the question now is, where the heck are we? I mean, what? This is fun now. This is fun. We're all getting spun, all right? Antonio Brown calls his trade to the Bills fake news. That's according to Philly Sports as of 1 minute ago. All right. And, okay. And he says that's fake news. Right. And then everyone has, I mean, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Ian Rappaport had him going to the Bills. And then you have these other NFL reporters who are, you know, putting it out there. That, all right, latest from another guy is, hey, you know, Raiders showed restraint. So this guy puts it out 2 hours ago from the Review Journal saying, Raiders showed restraint, balking at new contract and holding pat. Team still open for business with trade capital, but for now, all 10 picks remain in place. And yet, it's fake news, right? So, hey, guess what? I have to go back to my tweet, take that one down, put a new one out, because that tweet that I put out is not going any other way or place but Twitter. so I don't have to worry about broken links, all right? What a hilarious, I mean, absolutely hilarious state of affairs. No other way to describe it, okay? No other way to describe it. That was 15 minutes ago that I put that out there. 15 freaking minutes, man. 15 minutes. By the way, see Captain Marvel. Brie Larson, awesome. I mean, it's a movie that will take your breath away, okay? I loved it, and I want to see it again. Captain Marvel. Take your friends to see it. Take your girlfriend or your wife to see it, or your or whatever, okay? Or if you're a girl, take your guy to see it, or whatever, okay? Or your significant other, okay? So take them to see it. Take them. Take everybody. Anyway, so anyway, I just loved it. I'm going to do my new tweet because my new tweet is going to report that the news is fake. With the hashtags, all right? Fake news. I love it. Fake news. Hey, he's like, I ain't going nowhere. What's going on? I have never seen more garbage out of a story. No, that's not true. I have. The whole relocation thing has had its share of garbage news, so I can't say that. But this comes close, all right? Hey, Lysette, how are you? Cowboy Ref says, Z, there are other reports saying he's being traded to Buffalo. They're saying Rap Sheet is wrong. Yeah, I put that out there. I'm glad you note the title. Note the title change. It says, Antonio Brown, the Bills, fake. All right, fake. And I put it out there, all right? Fake, okay? AB directly replied to tweet as soon as it was tweeted. Right, JW. See, when he applied, there is a delay when he replied to that. All right, that was seconds ago. Whereas when I was preparing and then making sure, you know, TV was turned off, mom's headed to bed, I'm up here and all that. We were watching Forensic Files, and I was just hanging out with my mom. That's what I'm here for. But and so I do enjoy watching movies with the family. That's a lot of fun. So, what was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say that what a bunch of freaking fools. All right? What a bunch of freaking fools. I mean, Antonio Brown, the Bills, fake. Which means not only is it that Antonio Brown's not going to the Buffalo Bills, it means we don't know who to believe. I want you. This is what Jason La Canfora put out on Twitter a little while ago, okay? That when I was in the middle of preparing for tonight, all right? And this is what where's Jason? Where you at, Jason? There you are. We follow each other. Where you at? Okay. He says that's his podcast, all right? Oh, by the way, I think the Broncos traded Case Keenum, and so Broncos traded Case Keenum, and let's see here, what else? We've got, they released $7 million, and he had, actually, you know what? He took down his tweet. The minute Jason La Canfora found out that the whole deal with Antonio Brown to the Bills wasn't happening, he took his tweet down. Because that's the very tweet that I used to prepare what my mind was headed, right? Where I was going to say, right? He took it down. And what Jason was doing was he was lamenting the bad reporting that's around. And then Brian Baldinger had a tweet, Baldy, see Baldy NFL, Baldy, there he is. That was basically calling out, La Confora. Yeah, it says, can we get some real reporting on this, Jason? This is 3 hours ago. Get to work, Gumshoe. Getting close to a deadline, all right? Oh, and La Confora had tweeted the reporting, all right? This is what he said. The reporting on this AB trade has been something else. Teams in that never made an offer. Teams now out that were never in. Fake deadlines that never existed. We've run the gamut. Can't wait to see what they come up with next. Well, you just saw it. Fake. It's fake, all right? It's freaking fake. And then, let's see here. Antonio Brown himself, Mr. AB, right? Goes to AB84. And actually, Antonio Brown himself never tweeted out that unless he has another Twitter account. Okay? Because, yeah, Antonio Brown himself, unless he has another Twitter account, did not say himself, all right? Did not say himself. Let me show you this, okay? Because someone else said, well, that was Antonio Brown's account. Well, hold on a second, all right? This is how you get things get screwed up, okay? Look at this, all right? All right? Look at this. Great first day of spring ball yesterday. That's March 6th, all right? And then tweets and replies. This is Antonio Brown, okay? AB4 official, all right? Then, okay? All right? Okay? So that's tweets. All right, and then tweets and replies here. So whoever that AB was, it wasn't the AB that said it was fake. So now we have recent searches. Let's go Antonio Brown. All right, that's 2 hours ago. Now we go latest. But see, that wasn't Antonio Brown. Okay? J. Will, that wasn't Antonio Brown. This is what I was getting at. This is Antonio Brown. This is his Twitter account, all right? There's nothing here where he says that, all right? Okay? And that was February 21st, all right? So he's not, this is Antonio Brown's official Twitter account. He is not saying anything. Oh, it was on Instagram? Oh, it was on his Instagram account. Okay, hold on a second. Thank you for alerting me to that. I appreciate it. So let's go to Instagram. And real quick, find that one. You know what would be a cool app is to actually have something that merges the entries from both Twitter and Instagram in such a way that you can get up to the minute information better, right? Because we have Antonio Brown on Twitter, and then of course we have him on you say Instagram. Wait, hold on a second. There we go. Oops, excuse me. So I want to get that. And Antonio Brown Instagram. AB, there he is, okay. 3.2 million followers. Here we go now. All right. Hey, Jamal, how you doing? Instagram, AB, all right. 972 posts, 3.2 million followers. And let's see here. Posts. That's crazy, King James. All right. Hold on. I'll get to your question in a minute here. I'm trying to find... Oh, go to the NFL Instagram page? All right, thanks, Jay. Will, appreciate that. That's what I'm doing right now. I've got to go back here. Thank you, NFL. There. There's NFL. And scrolling down, breaking. Look at this, all right? Look at this. Look at this. All right. Right. That's what I'm looking for here. Okay. All right. Load more comments. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. AB come out and play. End of career. Hold on a second. Load more comments. Wow. Case Keenum to the Redskins. Huh. Case Keenum to the Redskins solidifies Case Keenum's new role as a journeyman quarterback. Will he bring them a Super Bowl? I'm not sold on Jay Gruden as the guy who can do it for them. I hope I'm wrong because I like Jay as a person. Let's see here. NFL Rap Sheet reporting. Load more comments. Well, I just started following him here. Let me see here. I think I've got to go back and he asked for a trade. That's funny. It's all the way up here, isn't it? It's too bad that I can't just type in, you know, fake news here, right? Like this, you know. But the whole point is, hold on a second. Let's try this. Then fake. I wonder if I can do that and get somewhere. AB fake. That's what I get. I don't get a stream. Oh, man. Well, anyway, okay. We know that, basically we know that this has been called out as fake news, okay? So, that's fake news. We've got it, all right? Go to JPA Football. They have screenshots. Okay. Football. Screenshots. Instagram photos. Ah, I get what you're saying. Good idea. Got it. Okay. It's a different picture than what the NFL has up there. There. Fake news. All right. Fake news. All right. First sign denial. He can't believe it. He's in denial. I really wanted to be a Raider. Wonder how you react if it's rumored to be traded to New England. It's a good question. It's a very good question. Okay. So that's fake news. You know, continuing to solidify the fact that this whole media is screwed up, folks, all right? And everybody's all over the place, and the normally conservative David Brooks has decided that he is for reparations. Wait, I met David Brooks, another story. Now I wouldn't mind getting him on this show for an interesting conversation. Now, okay. Joseph Benzman, thank you, by the way, Brody Roberts, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys helping, trying to help me find that. News on the Oakland Stadium. Okay, I will tell you what the news is. Significant progress has been made, but there's no resolution to the deal. However, they're making progress. That's the Oakland news. And so I was told, because I've been consistently receiving texts about this and texting back, that even though I'm still, it's not that I'm not at liberty to say what the problem is. I haven't been told. I can tell you what it is not. It officially has nothing to do with the practice facility, okay? It has nothing to do with the rent that is attached to the practice facility as per the lease, okay? So any comment you may have heard to the contrary is also fake news. It's not true. Even if it happened to come from somebody who claims to be an insider, it's not true. And that comes directly from Scott McKibben, the executive director of the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum Joint Powers Authority, okay? So, not true. if that is what you've heard. However, I asked a question of one person. No, Yuppie Scum says MD may be bluffing, who knows. I asked a question of one person. I said, is the matter so trivial? I said, look, is the matter such that when we hear what it is, it will be so trivial we'll roll our eyes? That's what and the response I got back was yes. Okay, yes. And it was one of these things that either came from one of the marks, either Bourdain or Davis, and it was a left field kind of thing. That's really what it was. It was kind of like this, all right? And let me get your comments. And we have Fado says, hopefully my Steelers get the 9th overall pick in return. Diuppie Scum, I got his comment. Joseph Amandura says, I believe you on the practice facility, but just so you know, CBS, KPIX, as well as NFL Network said that's what it was, but I tend to believe you well, my source is the best. It's not that, okay? And look, I'll just tell you who said it. McKibben told me, okay? Because I reached out to him the moment that was brought up. In fact, in the middle of this show last night, when someone had put that out as news, I texted Scott. He got back to me that morning, said it wasn't. I continued to quiz him. He assured me that was not the case, okay? He assured me that was not the case, all right? He said that's not it, all right? So there you go, okay? Now what I specifically asked him was, did it have something to do with the practice facility and the rent, all right? I don't know what the other people have said, okay? I haven't read that. So, and I don't read it because they tend, see, for example, if CBS puts out something, the NFL Network will believe it. If I put it out, they don't pay attention to me. Now, if I accuse them of being racist, they'll get upset. But hey, all right? So, all right, thank you, Jamal. All right? So, okay, because there's certain people that they have decided, oh, we'll pay attention to that person. Look at how the whole Raj Mathai thing became a thing, because the NFL Network repeated him, even though he was wrong, all right? So they've been led down the primrose, the wrong path more and more. I have. And someone asked me if I have an issue with the NFL Network. Why would I have an issue with the NFL Network? Okay, I'm just simply doing my thing. Now, I will scoop anybody anywhere. I don't care who they are. All right? There are some organizations that have an issue with me, a lot of them. And I could say that they're being racist, all right? But you want an example of what I'm talking about? Take a look at the live stream video that Richard did. Look at it. You'll know when you see what I'm talking about. All right? You'll know it, okay? Whatever. Moving forward, all right? Gridiron Guru says AB is in denial. He also says, come and check out his 1-minute video. I don't know where to go on that one. Yuppie Scum, and I quite literally don't know where your channel is. All right, I'm sorry. Now, if you put up a link here, that'll be a different story. Or in the comments section, that'll be a different story, okay? And then give me a title of the video or something to look at so I know that it's worth looking at and you're not putting up something ridiculous, okay? Because if you put up something ridiculous, I'm not going to show it because I'll pre-screen it before I show it, all right? So that's not happening. You forget that. Now, Jacob P. from the P says it has to be because of the lawsuit. Jamal Mills, thank you again. Diuppie Scum says nobody brought up the subject of the Raiders possibly suspending operations for the whole 2019 NFL season. No, because that's not happening. And because that's stupid, all right? And I'll tell you why that's really like fucking stupid. And I cursed for the first time in this broadcast. Because that would mean they lose money. Money from sponsorships. That would also mean that to suspend operations for the 2019 season, they would get sued, owed millions of dollars to sponsors. That would be hell, okay? And the NFL wouldn't let them do it. The NFL would just as soon toss the management I'm serious about that. Bringing somebody else to run the Raiders and have these guys get their head examined. So where you got the idea that that was doable from, you know what? I don't care where you got it from. Take it out of your head, okay? It's silly, it's stupid, it's nonsensical, it's idiotic, and it doesn't make you look like a reasonable human being. Okay? That's what you get. Now, you wanted me to say that part about this, so I did, but now I'm letting you have it by about how ridiculous that is. It just is die-uppy scum, okay? So kill that idea, man. Don't do it. Moving forward, John Collins says, I'm only going to leave you or McKibben. Well, I get it from McKibben, so. Joseph Mavenduras says, I left a thumbs up. Let's give 50 more. Thank you. Die-uppy scum says, this hasn't happened since 1943. I don't give a fuck. It's stupid. All right? That's the second time I cursed. John Monagani says, the Raiders NFL is silly, idiotic, so makes good sense to me. No, it doesn't. You know what? Both of you guys, if you don't knock it off, I'm going to cut you out of this broadcast. Okay? All right? So, one more like that, and both of you, you know, the whole thing about die-uppy scum, your comment's going to be out of here. I don't want to deal with any tomfoolery tonight. Okay? You test me on it once, you're gone. Knock it off. So anyway, Joseph M. Durr says, I wonder if this way Mark Davis has the final say, since the city has it in him, since he couldn't find another venue. Okay? And so here's my thought. It's not so much the final say, but the way it's a hallmark of the way the Raiders work. The Raiders always want to feel, and I don't agree with this strategy, like they are dominant over you. It is Mark Davis and Mark Bodain's interpretation of how they thought Al Davis ran the business, all right? In reality, they weren't like that off the field all the time. You can't be that way and have good relationships. However, for some reason in the back of their heads, they have adopted this approach that says, let me figure out how I can lord over you, how I can get the most out of you, how I can be less than magnanimous, all right, and how I can be the ruler. And that's the idea, okay? Now, Mark Bodain would bristle at that, and he would say, no, I take issue with that, Zenny. And he would say something like that. For this reason, he says, look, I'm simply trying to get the best deal I can for my organization. But my retort is this. Don't give this consistent view or perspective of instability by looking like you have an agreement. I have someone I'm working with right now. It's like, hey, do we have an agreement or not? And some people, when they do that, and we'll finally get to an agreement. I feel like we've got one. But some people do that with the idea that they believe that you're going to lose your temper and give them a reason to back out of something. Folks, in business, don't lose your temper. But do say this. Hey, look, this is as far as I can go. I like you, I respect you, but I can go this far and that's it. And that's what the JPA has done to this point. Particularly if you're young out there, or you have your own business, just wait them out. Get something else to do, because some people, they get off on the idea that you really need them. And so they'll jerk you around. They'll make you wait. They'll lowball you. I'm talking about in terms of business, all right? Sometimes in relationships too. Well, sometimes you say, what's the difference? Stand your ground. Ask for what you're worth, but don't ask for more than what the other person can pay for. And then comes the ultimate question. Do I want to do business with that person? If you want to do business with that person, you wait them out, okay? So this is a good lesson for anybody that is either in business or aspires to business how to handle a negotiation. By all means, Scott's an expert at it. Never loses his temper, wears a poker face. You know, if you ask him a question, say, hey, look, did the board direct you to do this? He would say, yeah, the board directed me to take an action. And I quote, the board directed me to take an action. But he didn't tell you what the action was, right? See what I'm saying? That's a seasoned negotiator speaking before the media. That's what he does. All right? That's what he does. So I'll get your comments here. Cesar says, I want Deshaun Jackson or Michael Crabtree back instead of Antonio Bryant. Much better, affordable options with less drama. Interesting. Diuppy Scum says, Cabarressa pretty much. Cabarressa says, Z, as a businessman myself, you have to swallow your pride. He wrote bride. You have to swallow your bride. I know that's not what you meant, but it's funny. Z, as a business... No, seriously, look at this. Look at this. This is hilarious. This was funny, okay? Z, as a businessman, you have to swallow your bride every once in a while. Mark needs to do the same thing. Well, well, first of all, Mark doesn't have a bride to swallow. Okay. But I hear what you're saying. I just had to tease you on that one. All right? That was funny. All right? Yeah, you do have to swallow your pride. All kidding aside, Cowboy Wrestler, you're absolutely right. You have to swallow your pride. Because if you don't, your pride has a way of... If you don't swallow your pride will swallow you. Let me put it that way, okay? David Stadium for You says, Raiders to Vegas was a TV script, not an actual reality. This Assassin says, gets a rebuild. We'll see what happens. I know the Steelers want a #1. Whether they get it after that #4 pick, keep drafting young receiver. Jamal Mills says, that is so true. I have my own apparel line. Oh, is that right? And you have to swallow your pride at times. Hey, apparel, that's a tough business. Eric Young says, hello, what I miss? Everything. Welcome, Eric Young. Cowboy Wrestler says, that's another show talking about Swallow the Bride. At any rate, I'm sorry. That is, oh my God. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Josh Bryce says, AB guaranteed traded to the Bills. Read the title. It says, Antonio Brown, the Bills, fake. All right? Fake. What does that mean? Read the title. That's why I went to the trouble of changing before you arrived. All right? Cowboy Russia says, oh my, it's really time to get another phone. Or maybe another bride. Oh, no, I didn't say that. Oh, somebody stop me. Oh, man, oh, man. That's, see, this is not a case of me laughing my own joke. He wrote it, so I'm just laughing, okay? Hey, everybody, welcome to Zenny62. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Okay, now, what did you miss? I'll tell you what you missed. First of all, the negotiations are still going through. It has nothing to do with the practice facility or the headquarters and rent owed. That's not the issue. Any news organization that told you it was is wrong, okay? Completely wrong. And, however, what the issue is not being shared with me, but I can tell you specifically that is not it. So the other organizations you may have read that information from or heard it, they simply are wrong. All they had to do was call me and ask. Phil Material was there. All you had to do was call me. You know, Phil, you could have said hi to my buddy, introduced yourself, you know, whatever. Moving along. Cowboy Wrestlers got that one. Dead Boba says, so this is not happening. No. Right now, we don't know what the heck is happening, man. We just know that Antonio Brown has put out, hey, fake news, right? So, let me see if there's been any updates anywhere regarding this. Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown. Seeing if he's exists as a hashtag in yeah. Let's see here. Top posts. Maybe fake news. Here's another one that captured it. Take a look at this, all right? Look at this one. AP, fake news. Fake news. That's hilarious. Oh boy, oh boy. This is Madden Curses official. Too funny. We've got John Akala says, so progress is being made on issue. Yes. Tom Kohler. Hey, Tom. Welcome. Tom says, I'm late. I'm sorry. So, as far as I know, the Raiders have no plan B. For what? There are a lot of plans out there. For what? Tom Kohler says there's no location other than Oakland. No. And no. Devastating for you says, who would have thought trade talks at midnight? Eric Young says, Tom Kohler, exactly. But knowing the Raiders, they'll make you think they've got something. All right, and they'll string that out. Eric Young says, Tom Kohler, exactly. Jay Willis says, we should know by tomorrow, but nothing is happening right now. Right. But I also believe that regarding the Coliseum issue, this is going to be wrapped up by, I would say, Saturday. I would be surprised if this thing lingered through Monday. Okay? There is momentum to get this cleared. All right? It really is. And that's talking about now the Coliseum issue. And there's a lot of money to be made there for the Raiders, getting that, deal sorted out, okay? And not only that, if this deal gets done, it will be the richest deal ever struck with the Coliseum JPA and a tenant in the history of the facility, where the Coliseum gets $2 million free and clear. Now, that may not sound like a lot of money, all right? But, hey, but in the history, and it's not. But unfortunately, and it pains me to say this is why I'm stuttering, but it has to be said that we have had some terrible deals approved by the Joint Powers Authority of the Coliseum over its history. I remember way back when I was working to bring the 2005 Super Bowl to Oakland as the founder and head of the Oakland Alameda County Sports Commission and the Oakland Super Bowl 39 bidding committee, that I had projected that we could get $80 million to $200 million. I thought $200 million for a type of naming rights agreement layout such that the names would be spread over two facilities, two parts of the facility, the stadium and the grounds itself, like this. Corporate ABC Stadium at organization XYZ Field. So, for example, it could be the Canon Coliseum, right, at JBL Field. Okay, so I've got Canon speakers here, and I've got Canon printer and JBL speakers, okay? So it could be the Canon, you see how that worked? The Canon Coliseum at JBL Field. Pretty cool, huh? So basically you have two organizations paying 80, 100 million apiece over a 20-year period. That would be the idea. That was my idea. We would take 10% of that, and give it to the Oakland school system. Not bad, huh? I pitched that, took it to Jerry Brown. I think Jerry was actually mad that I figured out a solution. He thought he had me. Why are we spending money on the schools? And I said, well, Jerry, this will get us the school money. How's that work? Well, this is how it works. Oh. Okay. I thought you had me. No. Okay. That was fun. I had a lot of fun. All right. Now, anyway, okay. Dead Boba asks this. I'm going to read this one because I think it's something that you should hear. Dead Baba. I don't know who that is. Why would the NFL post this then? I would think they would be pretty reliable source, but AB says otherwise. Dear Bob, I want to tell you something. You never go with a source because the source is reliable. All right? You know why you don't do that, Dead Bob? I'm going to tell you why. Hey, good night, Jamal. I'll see you. All right? The reason why you don't do that is this. Because it opens you up to all kinds of isms that you may be using in the back of your brain to determine who to believe and who not. Very simple lesson. Believe the source when the source is responsible for making a decision or is involved with the organization that you are looking at to figure out what's going to happen. All right? So in other words, if you want to figure out, say, what Microsoft is going to do, what more reliable source than the CEO of Microsoft, right? So that's how you judge it. That pretty much X's out every journalist you know. Okay. Now, if the journalist says, "Hey, look, the CEO of Microsoft told me this," boom, you got it. All right. All right. Okay. Boom, you got it. Okay. So there you go. All right. So, all right. Eric Young says, whatever company name is on the stadium will always be the Oakland Coliseum to me. Hey, I see you, Jamal. And then, we've got, all right. Joseph Armadura says, so as silly as this may sound, do you think the city council's upset or fed up with the Raider antics, that they would table the vote for approval of lease agreement? No. No, they wouldn't do that at all. And the reason is, why would you table an agreement that's going to give you more money than you ever had in the history of you in the Coliseum? That doesn't make any sense. So no. Enigmatic Elephant says, laugh out loud. Rapport has the NFL looking silly with that trade news in. They still got the vid and tweet up. Yeah. Shows you what kind of respect they have for Antonio Brown, right? And he ought to know. Okay. He ought to know. And Cowboy Wrestler, wait a minute. Let's see here. Okay, I got that one. Oh, Cowboy Wrestler, just to note, the NFL Network, especially Rap Sheet, has been known to report fake news. Deb Booba says, thank you for your insight. You're welcome. And thank you for taking my humor the right way. And Octavio, how you doing? Octavio says, AB denies because Buffalo equals the NFL Siberia. It would be punishment for the Steelers, by the Steelers. Well, I mean, how about he denies it because he wasn't told that, and he knows it's not going to happen? How about that, okay? I would tend to believe that rather than the other. I think if the Steelers handled Antonio that way, so close to the collective bargaining agreement, what with all of these concerns that the NFL players have had about being referred to and treated as if they were, modern day slaves, for the Steelers to handle the trade that way would be the kiss. That would be a walk to a strike. Okay, you don't treat players like that in the modern age. That's the kiss of death in terms of player relations. Just is. So no. Okay. Slippery Toad says Raiders should be playing San Diego. Cesar says, can we please end this whole Raiders Stadium soap opera? I'm getting really tired of hearing about this whole episode of where they'll play next season. Enough of this, please. Sorry, Cesar. Just the way it is, man. Cowboy Rush says, I watched Richard's video earlier today. Richard who? Oh, Richard Hike. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I watched Richard's video today, and the disrespect he was getting from those establishment reporters was disgusting. Yeah, it was disgusting. And hey, look, I get the same thing from them, okay? And he does as an extension to me, and I warned him about it. And I said, hey, you know what? I wrote, pay them no attention at all, because that is why they're losing their jobs left and right. They believe that they're entitled to, you know, have the access and have the entry and have the answer, rather than collaborating with people who approach media from a tech perspective, rather than establishing relationships, rather than understanding how to code, rather than selling what they do, selling their stories. You know, you understand what I'm getting at? No, it's like, oh, this has got to be me. What the heck are you doing here? Well, we're better, cheaper, faster. How about that? Okay. Not a good way. I have said this, and I'll say it again. The number of media people that have been very nice to me is far outweighed by those who have not been over time. And I can say it's racism, and they would hate it. But when I start detailing everything that's happened to me, and maybe one day I should just sit down and do that in a huge blog post, I challenge anybody to say that wasn't institutional racism, the way it was put out there. And I told Richard, I said, by extension, because they don't like me, you're going to get the brunt of it because they're like, oh, you're with him. It's kind of like how some people stare at a white girl if she happens to be with a white guy, I mean, with a black guy, you know? I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know if you ever work out at the gym, and like I remember very recently I was working out, this girl comes and she's working out next to me. I've never met her, all right? We're not even close. And we're both on the Stairmaster, and this guy who I'm acquainted with is staring at her, but he's staring at her and he's giving her this weird look. And I'm thinking, why is he staring at her? And I didn't think this guy was like that, but it turns out he is. And so finally, I just said, the heck with it. I'm going to call him on it in a way. I just said, hey, man, what's up with you? What's wrong? You walking by, you didn't even say hello or anything. Did you know it was, oh, I didn't realize it was you. He didn't realize it was me. All right? That was weird, okay? In other words, he was so mad that the white girl was working out with a black guy, and he's just eyeing her. And I'm thinking, I just saw something that I was supposed to see but didn't want to see. Woohoo! Woohoo! Just saying, okay? Just saying, all right? So, and this did not happen in Oakland, by the way, okay? This did not happen in Oakland, all right? So, Cabaret says, Z, the Bay Area establishment sees you as a threat. Well, they could partner with me. And now, having said that, it could have happened in Oakland, but it didn't, because that's how things have changed. Hey, Donut says, what happened with the Oakland Raiders lawsuit? It's been filed, but in terms of progress beyond that, they have not hit the deposition phase yet, not even close. Sean Watson says, why are they taking so many things from Oakland, the Warriors and the Raiders? They are, first of all, the one thing that all three sports teams have in common is they're playing in an old facility. It goes from there, all right? Cowboy Wrestler says, and arguably we should have lost all 10 years ago. Cowboy Wrestler says, Z, the Bay Area sports media the Bay Area establishment media sees you as a threat. Hey, Richard, how you doing? Richard's ears are burning. We were talking about you. Octavio says, I got here at the right time, it seems. Yeah, I was telling them, Richard, about how I said, hey, say hi to Phil Mateer, and Phil didn't say hi back or anything. And to me, he just seemed like he was being unnecessarily salty, even though I was just trying to be friendly, you know. Now, the one person that's really nice is the person who runs the Coliseum meetings, who sets up the tables and distributes all the packets. She's neat. Said hi on camera, hi, says, hey, Zenny, how's Zenny's mom? Says, fine, all that, you know. Great. Sean Watson says, how are they going to replace all the jobs they're going to lose? There's no plan. Jay Will says, a lot of crazy things have happened since the last collective bargaining agreement, laugh out loud. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if there's another strike when the next agreement comes up, and neither would I, consisting of the amount of money that the players are going to get from this new revenue source, this new goose that laid the golden egg called gambling, right? Enigmatic Elephant says, if Kyler goes #1, who you got for #2 in the draft since Bosa fell? Well, Josh, there you go. Dave Ortiz says, where would you want to see AB traded to and why? The Raiders. because the Raiders need a legitimate, top-flight, bona fide, take the roof off deep threat, and there's no other wide receiver in the NFL that fits that bill better than Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown to the Raiders would be arguably the most exciting trade the Raiders have ever executed. That goes over Carson Palmer. That goes over... I can't think of one... Yeah, I can't think of a trade more right for its time for the Raiders than Antonio Brown. I just can't. Richard Hike says there's supposed to be some kind of press conference about the Rakuten facility where the Warriors practice. I'm feeling like they might move the League team to Oakland. To Oakland? Are you going to go to the press? Are you going to the press conference? Are you going for Zenny 62? I'm just asking. When? Deb Baba says Martavius Bryant and AB can be reunited. Dave Ortiz says my favorite Raider receiver was Tim Brown. Octavio Harris says too expensive for... You mean the what? Okay. Richard, tell us about this press conference. I'm doing this Harold Hecuba style. Harold Hecuba was this character in the Flintstones. Harold Hecuba, whatever. Was it the Flintstones or was it Gilligan's Island? No, Flintstones. Harold Hecuba. Anyway. Richard says, I'm trying to find out the details. Whatever it is, it seems they have a plan once they go to San Francisco. You mean like practice in Oakland, play in San Francisco? That's pretty cool. That'll be a pretty good. That'll be a pretty good kind of, you know, Bay Area bi-coastal, right? Oh, AB, you think Antonio Bryant's too expensive for the Raiders? Raiders have a $72 million salary cap. Excuse me, a cap in dead money. The Raiders have $72 million in cap space is what I should say. So, cap space. Dead Bubba says, laugh out loud, Bryant cannot stay out of trouble, sadly. Donut says, see you later, man. I'm about to call it a night. Yeah, I'm not too far behind you. I'm going to call it a night in about 10 minutes. But I think, yeah, I hear you there. Thanks. I may even do a live stream tomorrow. Sean Watson says, do you know if they're trying to shop Carr around? I don't know if that's official. And, you know, given how many people are spun, given how many media people are spun today and pop off about things, even on this channel, or people just saying stuff and putting it out there as fake news, hoping that I'll repeat it. And in one case, you didn't see this, but I actually just pinged the guy out of the way, had something that he wanted me to read. I just said, I'm not going to read that, forget it. So I just took out the entire comment, all right? It kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park when Ray Hendry had the doll of himself going, That's what I say to you. All right? So, now, Dead Bubba says, you should do a live stream tomorrow to follow up on the SAB situation. So thanks for the stream. Good night. And, sir, I will do that as per your request. Thank you for coming. And please subscribe if you have not done so. So you can get, and when you subscribe, make sure you hit the button, the bell, and then it goes ding, right? Okay, yeah. That's a great idea. Jay Will says, I'm a Ravens fan. Crabtree was one of the league leaders in drops. That's why he got released. Lysette Romero says, the issue is bigger than his emotions, and the NFL needs to do scheduling, and fans need to know what beast mode is doing. True. I'm going to try to get some Las Vegas folks on here, too, because I want to find out more about what's happening about the stadium situation with respect to other developments in Vegas. If I can get somebody on that is not, you know, part of that thing that, oh, Zinni hates Las Vegas, because I don't, all right? That would be fun. I love Las Vegas. Octavio says, Carr is not going anywhere. Sean Watson says, I think you keep the things real. Thank you. That's why I listen to you. Sean, that made my day. Thank you. It really did. Thank you very much. Cowboy Russia says, ESPN is doing a report as we speak about AB. Nothing about him going to Buffalo. No. He nixed it. He nixed it. He says it's fake news. I mean, look, a player can decide he's going to retire, right? The dude can decide, I'm going to retire. So he's out a couple of months, announces a few games, and says, you know what? I want to come back to football. Okay? And then he says, Richard says, I got here late. Any leads on the outstanding issue between the JPA and the Raiders? Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the practice facilities, is what I'm told. Okay. John Collins says, any other free agent you hope the Raiders can get if they don't get Antonio Brown? Other than Brown, no. I'm really of the mind the Raiders need to build through the draft. I'm a big believer in building through the draft. And I also hold that the Raiders fooled around and they didn't develop. They didn't keep much of the core that they had. And John spent too much time bringing in what he thought were wildly crafty veterans, and forgetting for the moment that they're slower than the guys that are 10 years younger than they are. And this is really, more so than ever, a speed game, okay? And it's only getting faster. And the defenders are only getting faster, all right? So you can't turn over your squad like that, have an organization, the players which I think the average age was over 27, when it really should be over 24, or I would say over 23, and then expect to win. It just is not happening today. Because that microsecond of, that 1/100th of a second difference getting off the ball means the difference between the regular season and the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Look at how fast the Patriots get off the ball. The Patriots, in terms of their snap on offense, are studying in inefficiency. Look at defensively how they're a chameleon. They will mold themselves into the very defense they think will be custom fit to stop you, all right? The best way to trip up the Patriots is to do something the Patriots don't expect you to do. You do that, I've seen it time and again through the history of the Patriots with Bill Belichick, you will beat them. Sometimes you'll beat them really, really bad. Because they're pattern modelers. You throw them one particular pattern and you go with that pattern, they've got you more often than not. But the minute you change that pattern, they go haywire. It's like, wow, we can't, how do we do that? We don't know, okay? They go haywire. The only time the Patriots, well, actually, I need to change that. I was going to point to the Super Bowl 51, because in Super Bowl 51, as we know, the Falcons were ahead 28-3, right? But the Falcons didn't do what the normal book says you do. You take the gas pedal off, you take your pedal off the metal, and you run the football. No, they kept trying to throw. But the Patriots changed their entire game plan. They were throwing mid-range, occasional deep passes and then running, and that was falling into the pattern hands, if you will, of the Falcons defense. What did the Patriots start doing? Short passing. Chopping their way down the field bit by bit by bit. And spreading out the Falcons defense and getting matchups, wide receiver on linebacker, wide receiver on safety, very effective. So, and they didn't go away from that. Whereas, if I were the Falcons, what would I have done? I would have clamped down. I would have just clamped down man for man, okay? So, all right, I'm going to start winding out of here, folks. It is almost, yeah. Let me get your comments. Oh, let's see here. Going back here. Trying to figure out, guys, as far as Maurice Keith says, Vegas about to vote or review an underground transit system. I think this is for convention center benefit. That's an exciting idea. That's a Stephen Hill special. That's why Stephen Hill is the best economic development specialist in the country. He's now the the president of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. I said it before many times. I'll say it again. I've long admired his work as an economic development official. Sean Watson says, keep it great work. Thank you. And let's see here. And Richard Hike says, what if he means fake news ironically? Trump calls real news fake. I don't see any I don't see any similarity between those two. What Antonio is saying is, hey, look, I'm not going to the Bills, all right? David Ortiz says, if Carr were ever traded for some crazy reason, who would you want to see a quarterback either draft or trade? Okay, I want the Raiders to get Tyree Jackson. I believe that Tyree Jackson is the best quarterback prospect in the 2019 NFL draft, bar none, period. Okay, I even have, if you go to Zenny62 on YouTube here and type Tyree, T-Y-R-E-E Jackson, you can see the video I have of him from the Senior Bowl. He is an amazing talent. 6'7", 245 pounds, runs a 4.59 40, can throw 80 yards standing still, can expertly move a team from under center, all right? He has a magic about him when he gets out there, that unquantifiable X factor that I can't ignore. I think he would do very, very well with any team that drafted him. But I think for the Raiders, he would cement the Raiders at quarterback for the foreseeable future. Now, there you go. Joseph Armendura says, yesterday I wrote about your video. I wrote about your video about a year ago when you spoke to one of the construction union leaders in Vegas. He was an activist. That was Stanley Washington, I believe. Do you still think he would have some info if you still have that contact? I still have the contact with him. I haven't spoke to him in some time, and I'll be candid. He was trying to sue the governor. Steve Sisolak became governor of Nevada. I had him on once to discuss his lawsuit, but I didn't do so afterward because I didn't want to give Steve Sisolak the idea that I was against him, because I'm not. And Steve already had that in his mind, okay? And he had some good reasons to have that in mind, because I have been very aggressive. But I've also told Steve privately, and I say publicly, as a news publisher, I said, look, you know, we're both old-style Democrats. We believe in using public money to create jobs for people who cannot get check jobs. Steve and I are one mind on that. And so I don't want to lose friendship with a person who has that idea. I don't want to lose friendship with anybody, but he does have that idea. Now, he himself is over there, and he's listening to people like Tommy White and others who were bad-mouthing me, right, at the time. And I think in Tommy's case still is, but I think Tommy does it with a wink and a nudge, right? He likes to stir things up and you know, try as I might. I got a lot of respect for Tommy. Some people don't like I say that, but I do, because of how he helps certain people. I don't like, there's certain black female contractors he needs to work to apologize to and work out the issues that they have with him, okay? And they are very deep issues. But my point is, I'm not trying, and I don't want to, all right, get in the middle of arguments on the alien planet. Okay, I'm not a Las Vegas resident, so I don't know the real deal in terms of relationships that's producing these negative exchanges. So it's wrong for me to just sort of jump in from outside and get involved, and I have no idea what it is I'm really getting involved in. So I just stick to one thing. What's the issue with the stadium? Everything that's related to it. Stanley Washington's issue was related to it, okay? But see, he made his point, he filed his suit, and that starts to become a life unto itself, all right, that is away from the stadium. But when it had to do with the stadium directly, and I was getting information regarding the progress of the stadium and everything else, that was great. But it got to a point where you have to measure these things in media. To what extent are you serving someone else's interests other than your own and what you're trying to get? And let's face it, everybody is in media, trying to get at something. They're in it for some particular reason, for information, for the kind of media business they run. There's no escape from that. Anybody who tries to high-mind you on this is blowing smoke. All right. In my case, also, I go back to Vegas again and again and again. I want to walk back in there comfortably. I don't want to walk back in with this idea that somebody else has that, oh, you hate my city. I don't hate Las Vegas at all. I love Las Vegas. And see, I particularly don't want to do that as a person who is a public figure. Okay? So why should I go in allowing an idea like that to be out there when in point of fact it's wrong? All right? It's completely wrong. So that's why I didn't seek to dig more into his suit. Also, other people, they have their own blogs and they can get their word out. Now, where there is something that obviously went wrong, other than what Stanley had already talked about, and there's a follow-up, I love Stanley. I'd love to have him back on, okay? So it's not a matter of, hey, I don't want to. But I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that to where all of a sudden it's like, hey, Zinni's got something against the guy who's now the governor of Nevada. Oh, nice. No, I don't want that at all. I just don't. Like Brian Sandoval, his predecessor, Brian Sandoval is a nice guy. I like Brian a lot. Met him once. Missed talking to him at the CES party. He is a mensch. From my humble little bitty bit of experience, Brian Sandoval is a mensch. All right. So I don't want that. Why? It doesn't do me any good. Again, I love Las Vegas. The CES thing I created myself long before this stuff happened. Way back in 2009 and 2010, all right? So why? Doesn't make any sense, okay? So Octavia says, Raiders should spread the cap money around. Don't put all of these eggs in one basket. Draft the defensive end, a right tackle, and a wide receiver. He wants Metcalf. Jay Will says, Patriots have a lot of trouble with mobile quarterbacks. Yes. John Acala says, if the outstanding issue is money, the Raiders shouldn't be complaining because they already get their game day expenses paid for. Ding! That's more than what they're going to be paying for rent. Exactly. Lisette says, there's some guys that live live stream on YouTube from Vegas. Their broadcast saw silver and black today. Okay. Okay, cool. Tom Kohler says, the Raiders should hire Colin Kaepernick. I like the Cap idea. Perfect solution. Cap needs time and practice. He can be number 2 behind Carr. Cowboy Wrestler says the NFL Network is still displaying the breaking news scroll regarding the fake AB trade. Oh, jeez. And David's devastating for you. Thinks Cap's been out of the league too long. And Tevio says Gruden likes a Locke for QB. I'm not high on Locke. I know he had Locke. He coached Locke. He has some familiarity with Locke. Again, I think Tyree Jackson is literally head and shoulders over Locke. Richard Hike says, a devastating Cap has a huge market upside that's worth money to any team that gets him. Yeah. Not to mention, he's going to basically cause them to make $1 billion in merchandise sales. Watch. In 1 year. Devastating for you says, marketing doesn't win playoff games, though, but marketing buys you the money to get the players to win playoff games. Keep that in mind. Okay. Keep that in mind. Richard Hike says, it's about money more than anything. A backup doesn't usually win them either. Yep. Joseph Marandera says, I don't understand this fascination with Drew Lock. Neither do I. And so, let's see here. Cesar Canet says, do you think Gruden will sign both Johnny Manziel and Des Bryant to the team next year? I have a feeling he will. No, that's left field. Cowboy Wrestler says, Cesar Canet may be Dez, but not Manziel. John Acala says, good night, thank you. And to that, I also say, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. And by the way, have a chance, too. If you haven't done so, hey, let me show you, going out, my, my review. If you have not seen it before, I'm going to think that you haven't seen it. My review of Captain, that's right, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel. Awesomely played. Yeah, you saw it too, Joseph? You saw it? Man, you saw it? We have to have a live stream on that. How many people? I have to send out an email and find out how many people would be into having a live stream about, you know, Marvel movies and that sort of thing, or just, you know, leading up to WonderCon and Comic-Con. One second. All right.
Hey everybody, I'm at the Cinemark 17 movie theater and I just saw Captain Marvel, starring Brie Larson in the title role, and it was a fantastic movie. I'll have to tell you because, first of all, this movie, I'm standing in front of this diaphragm right here, all right? But this movie was one of the best superhero origin movies I've ever seen. It was on a par with the original Superman, starring Christopher Reeve and produced by Elias Salkind, and the first Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. It had the right combination of action, special effects, and acting. And not only that, feeling. What I liked most about Captain Marvel was that it got its period right. It got the 90s right, essentially. And all the way down to the music and the vernacular of the period and the clothing and everything else. It was really, really great in that way. It also, to be honest, is the first superhero movie I've seen other than Wonder Woman that got women right as superheroes, you know? And fight scenes and action and special effects and everything else. I was really quite pleasantly surprised at what I saw. I didn't know what to expect, but you come away with understanding what and who Captain Marvel is, the most powerful being, known being, at least to us in the universe. And you'll have to see it to see exactly what I mean when I say that. It is really that powerful a movie in terms of delivering that message. It really is great. There's some other scenes that you've got to see. I don't want to give it away at all, although I'm dying to give these parts away, but you must stay through the credits, okay? All of the credits. I also have to remark that the film was made in California. It's the first Marvel movie I've seen in the modern era, if I call it, actually the second phase of the Marvel cinematic universe that wasn't made here in Georgia. It was actually made in California. Marvel's Avengers Endgame is being made here at Pinewood Studios, however. But I digress. Amazing movie, and Brie Larson really plays an excellent, empathic Carol Danvers. I just can't say enough about the performance. I'm definitely going to see this movie again. Captain Marvel, A+.
Oh, I loved it. And I think, Joseph Emeter, you were asking me about, you asked me something I want to get back to address.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody.
Where was that? Oh, there are a lot of people, you say, that are trying to make an issue about a strong leading lady as a head of a franchise. I do think if it's any man that has an issue with that, he's a very insecure man. Yeah, I agree. I think that's less so today. You know, I made a video about this, and I should do this another time just to go ahead to bed, but I was talking about how women who are obviously muscular are now more accepted in society than they were in the past. I've always been a fan of women bodybuilders, and since I was 14, think about that, 14 years old, all right? And I don't mean like, you know, there's different degrees, everybody has their thoughts, but someone like athletes like Lolo Jones or Serena Williams, okay? That form that is now mainstream, I've always liked that form. And that's always been something I've prized. It's nice to see society catching up with me rather than considering guys like me to be, you know, weird or anything. Because the reason is that women who are that way appreciate men who see the beauty in them, and they appreciate it when society does too, because it's better for their self-esteem, right? So we're headed in the right direction in that category. All right, folks, it gives me an idea for another guest. All right, I'll see you all, and there was a request to have a live stream done tomorrow. I will, and I'm going to endeavor to start that earlier than, yeah, like around 11 or something like that. All right, I'll see you guys 11 in the east, which would be 8 in the west. All right.